Through Adversity is sponsored by MVS Autos, keeping you on the road. MVS Autos offer a range of vehicle services including MOT, servicing, repairs, welding, diagnostics, aircon and much more. Based in Wormley, serving all of Bristol and surrounding areas. For 10% discount, quote TAP MVS when booking. Hello and welcome to another episode of Through Adversity with myself, Rich, and today's guest is Mr. Paul Gledhill. Welcome to Through Adversity, mate. How you doing?
I'm all right. It's like talking to Stephen Merchant, but without the hair and glasses.
It is. I've got that accent, and I think a lot of people say not just Stephen Merchant, but the guy from
Crystal Maze.
Crystal Maze. He's another one, absolutely. But the other one was the chap from is it this country where they're up in Dursley or Gloucester. It's a brother and a sister. It's the Mucklow twins, and they sound very Bristolian.
Is it on telly?
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't
yeah.
know about it because I've got a life, so can't help there.
We started already. So if anyone's listening, there will be banter, there will be innuendos, and I'm going to lose spectacularly every single time because Paul is far too quick-witted for me. So, mate, we are going to take you back to the beginning of your childhood. Tell us about growing up.
Growing up.
How did it look for you? When did it all start?
Started in 1972. I know, right? Does that make you old or young?
That makes me old. I'm 69.
Okay, won't go there
so
yet.
No,
so born in Clacton-on-Sea in Essex,
Yep.
and mum still around. Natural dad died recently, but we hadn't spoken for 30 years, so that's a bit of a thing.
Okay.
So yeah, grew up in Clacton, started off sort of after sixth form doing quite a lot of radio and things like that locally and across Europe too, and then decided that I needed a real job. So stepdad suggested I join the Air Force rather than the Army because only losers go to the Army.
Did your stepdad know that you were gay then at that time?
No idea whatsoever.
So it was the RAF was the thing that realised that you...
No, I brought it out, clearly.
Obviously, every time.
We're going there today, are we? That's what's happening?
That's where we're going.
Okay.
That's where we're going.
All right.
So RAF, so talk me through. So you would have gone in the 80s, assuming it would have been...
91, I joined.
91, okay. So how was RAF training in 91?
Hated it.
Really?
Absolutely hated it.
In what way?
I was at the age of, oh God, how old was I? 91, so I'd have been, 19? No, perhaps younger than that. I don't know. No, I was younger than that. I hated it. Absolutely detested RAF training. Used to being at home, used to takeaways, doing whatever I want, bit of DJing with my friends, and then turning up at RAF Swinderby, being shouted at by some guy who was not too dissimilar looking to you. His name was Smith. He was a sergeant. Not a very nice man, as I recall.
None of them are, though, are they?
No,
staff.
I guess it's their job. But I had a major sense of humour failure about it, and
Really?
So 6 weeks of basic training there, doing standard learning blue stuff, and then having in the middle of that there was like a little green phase as well called MFT.
Does that mean you pick up a firearm of some kind?
Oh yeah, no, you train to shoot rifles and things. So I trained on the SLR.
Oh, the old elephant gun. Beautiful.
Yeah, which was great actually. I loved it.
What a recoil.
Honestly, that is an amazing thing. But I'll tell you a bit more about basic training in a minute. But the firearm side of things. Started with the SLR, and then at some stage, I'm just trying to think. I'd gone on to my first station after trade training as well, and then we did a conversion onto the SA-80.
Yes. About the right time.
Which was great fun because the magazine, as you know, would just keep falling out. And doing all of that stuff. But going back to basic training, it was horrendous. The RAF Reg super soldiers, as they are, were doing
5 Mile of Death. That's where they're going with that one.
I don't know how anybody survives that.
No, it's a long way.
Cornetto in one hand and ego in the other. So you know the old punishment for getting rifle drills wrong, sort of doing muzzles, holding out
Oh,
the.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Oh, that was horrendous, wasn't it?
With the SLR as well.
So it was quite heavy. And,
yeah, that's a heavy weapon, mate.
But the butler didn't complain, so it was all right.
No.
It's fine. So I got that wrong quite a lot because I was a bit of a Jack the Lad at that age, and the instructors took a natural dislike to me, I think, and I was really at that age quite immature as well.
Yeah.
So the next thing I know, he's got me by the throat up against the wall.
Really?
And he's literally lifting me off the floor, and I'm choking. Right.
Shit.
So yeah, I mean, I know the Air Force is meant to be a bit more gentle, but there was none of that going on when I joined. It was pretty beastly.
I think it was. There was that. I think there was a switchover point when it became quite PC. Because I know when we trained in ATA, it was, as you said, it was very brutal. Lots of bullying, lots of hands-on. It was violent, and it was. We would call it character building. Some would call it bullying. But we got back from Northern Ireland training in early '91. A lot of the lads that came in, they'd all started introducing quilts into basic training. Bed blocks weren't the same. It's like, really? Yeah, we thought you had quilts. You can't be a prop. We thought you can't be a proper soldier. They can. The training's just as good, but the actual method of basic training was seemingly to get softened up a little bit, and we just didn't agree with that. It seemed a bit strange.
I get it. I mean, I think quite often what happens is that we look back on it in disdain if we've gone through it ourselves. If we came through in the times of duvets and comforters and sucking our thumbs, then we'd be okay with it. Thumbs, I said. Rick.
I'm sorry.
But no, I mean, it was bed blocks, or whatever they were called now. I mean, so much so that we were sort of up at 4 o'clock every morning to get everything ready for
get ready.
I think the 7 o'clock every day was the inspection, and of course your stuff would just go flying out the window.
Guaranteed, yeah.
So,
have you got any funny stories about inspections? Any particular room inspections which you remember?
There was a guy that was on the same intake as me at Swinderby, who I lost contact with him about 10 years ago, but I think he's still out there. His name was Neil Gilbert, lovely fella, really nice guy, but he used to sleep for England. So, I mean, during basic training, we were all sleeping on the floor because we didn't want to mess the beds up. Right?
Yeah.
So Gilby comes back after sort of the day with doing whatever we were doing, learning about salutes or some other very exciting stuff. And he fell asleep on his bed. So we carried his bed out of the block, down the stairs, took it across and stuck it as near to the parade ground as we could get away with. He never woke up once.
Not even whilst you're carrying him out.
None of us thought to check whether he was dead.
Oh, shit. Was he?
No.
Oh, well, okay.
No, he turned up again, so he was okay in the long run. But the guy could sleep through anything. So I mean,
amazing, isn't it?
He was ideal for being sent on deployment because if he was on a Hercules, he could just sleep on anything. So great.
Perfect. Oh, we had we're doing a Carter course, which was similar sort of setup to basic training, and you'll probably identify with one of these things I'm going to say. Is we'd have a regular inspections, and they go up from your troop sergeant to your
they
troop
have
leader.
Troop sergeants in the Girl Guides.
They do indeed, yes, and we also have squadron leaders as well. They have
that makes sense.
Yes, it's all very very I can't even say the word, but it is. So we had one with the RSM, the Regiment Sergeant Major. He came into our room, and it's four beds, and he's just.
But you only slept in one, didn't you?
We only used one. Yeah, we just it was so good times, good times. He was inspecting this lad's bed in front of me. He looked at his military issue cup, the old plastic cup used to slot over the water bottle.
Oh crikey, yeah, made
Remember
by
those?
BCB cup type.
That's
thing.
it, with the two metal spring handles you'd hold on to.
Brilliant.
We had to clean everything. Now he looked at this cup and the guy cleaned it. He'd polished it, and the RSM said, what the fuck have you cleaned that with or polished that with? And he goes, Morello, sir, because Morello was good to get a good shine on. And he goes,
Don't know what
fuck it.
Morello is. What's that?
It's like a paint on polish. It's cheating.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he said, what the fuck is Morello? And he launched this cup from the guy, and it's coming towards me, and I stood to attention. I just managed to get enough of a lean on for it to wing past my face and bounce off the wall behind me. You think I can't move quickly because I'll be seen, but just enough of a lean so the cup just wings past my nose, hits the wall, and explodes. All this like fake polish flies off. Yeah, you regretted that one.
Unbelievable. So a bit of a Matrix moment from you as you
It was like, whoa, it was slow mo. So yeah,
Wow.
but it is character building. So
we had a guy bring in a can of Tornado nose cone paint for doing toe caps.
To make it, I'm assuming that's very weatherproofed and it doesn't fade.
The stuff was amazing.
Like ceramic coating, I guess, isn't it?
As is always the way, that if you know somebody who works in supply, then you're laughing, right?
Yeah.
However, so the I'm trying to think. So yeah, Smith was his name, the sergeant. The corporal was Kenny something. Scousers a day is long. And he'd bowl around everywhere. He was absolutely full of himself. He had like a giant inflatable under each arm,
Oh right, yeah, carrying carpets off.
Right, lads, you're an absolute shower of shite, but in Scouse. And
that was Welsh, wasn't it?
Something like that, yeah. Well, North Wales isn't it?
Not far off, yeah.
But so they were a pair of terrors, the both of them. But yeah, not a good time. I didn't enjoy it, and trade training was worse.
So what trade did you go for, mate?
So I was the trade was LMEC TC is what it started out as, electronic mechanic telecommunications.
Okay, so pretty clever stuff then.
Oh yeah, I'm far too intelligent for this podcast, I can tell you. And so we went to RAF locking down at Western-super-Mare. Was that twat?
No, I didn't say anything, mate.
No, okay. Well, it's only one syllable. You'll be fine. And so RAF locking, which was actually a really nice place. I mean, good for a night out down at Western.
Yes.
Oh, and
yes.
Yeah, no, it was good.
Lots of drug addicts in Western.
Actually, there was then. Yeah, I think some of them were in my block. But there I start sniffing. Typical, isn't it? Bloody hay fever, I tell you.
It's August.
There we are. So yeah, that was how long was that? 16 weeks, where they teach you how to take apart a transmitter and stuff, and how to mend it.
Was it interesting? Because I know you're into your comms and your presenters. Was it good to get a different sort of?
Yeah, I mean, radio had always been a hobby, whether it was broadcasting or piddling around with pirate transmitters.
Back in the old days with your antenna.
Yeah, that sort of thing. And so yeah, went there and then learnt about some really heavy duty stuff that would absolutely fry you if you touched the wrong thing. I never did, so it was all right.
Is it just to go in there? Isn't it interesting now how back in the 70s, 80s it was illegal to have these pirate radio stations, and then now people can broadcast anything they like online. You just go in and record what you like.
I mean, I'm not going to get technical about it, but I mean, it's true, isn't it? I mean, is that those things that you weren't allowed to do are now everyday stuff. And it's always been the case, I think, that, I mean, if you go back to 1964, when you were about 30, so that's when Radio Caroline started. And so they were running for about 3 years. And then the Labour government of the day, I'm trying to think of his name, Tony Benn was the Postmaster General, right? Now, you think of the Labour Party as being about like the youngsters and perhaps being a bit more hip and letting people do stuff that they want to do. But Tony Benn was having the radio station jammed and all sorts of things. So he was really against it. So he brought in the Marine Offences Act, which would probably appeal to you, because how long's it been since you've committed an offence with a Marine?
Oh, a week.
Right. So sorry, I got off topic there a little bit, but I am passionate about radio without a doubt.
Yeah, is it in the same way that he sort of put all these bans on certain things in the radio? Same as Mary Whitehouse brought out the video nasties in the 80s, didn't she? Remember that?
Yeah,
She
she
banned
did. She
everything.
was.
Watershed.
I mean, I knew a bit about her. I mean, all I knew about Mary Whitehouse at the time was watching the Mary Whitehouse Experience, which I guess was what 90s.
It was the late 80s, actually. Do you know what I remember mostly about it? It's because it was portrayed on Spitting Image in the mid to late 80s. She was
Okay.
one of the characters, like back in the, I think it's back in the Thatcher days,
Mm,
is when it was knocking around. So, but I remember it because we had suddenly all these videos which you couldn't watch anymore, so they became under the shelf. All the things like these various horror films, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, for example. These were
mm.
all banned as video nasties, and I
Sort
think,
of, I spit on your grave and things like that.
yeah, exactly. All of these. Yeah, so that I guess is the same kind of thing, isn't it? So got through your trade training. Did you
Hmm.
get through it okay? Did you pass it with flying colours? Did you find it a piece of piss?
To be fair, I mean, I don't remember too much of the training side of it. Um, Oddly enough, I remember more about the social side of things. So what we do of an evening, because your evenings were your own,
Yeah,
unless it was ball night in the block and you had to tidy everything up,
yeah,
then we dive into somebody's car and we just head out into Somerset or wherever and explore.
yeah,
And I got really fond memories of one evening we all jumped into. I think it was my car actually.
yeah.
I think I had a Nova at the
Oh,
time.
good skill. 91 it would have been a Nova, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
No, I tell a lie. Actually, it was a Mark One Astra, chocolate brown, beautiful thing.
Oh, my brother had a Mark 1 Astra chocolate brown. Brown seats as well, or beige?
I think they started as beige.
It ended up with
So,
brown.
but we'd go to Glastonbury and places like that, and I
Yeah,
on Halloween 1991,
yeah.
we were up the top of Glastonbury Tour, being
Oh, wow.
absolute urchins. So
That
it
would
was
have been good fun.
good fun.
So did you have, I'm guessing you had a relative free movement during trade training then, where for us we were confined to barracks, we weren't allowed out. I think we might allow out on the odd weekend, but generally
During
speaking,
trade training, I think I had one weekend where we weren't allowed home,
yeah.
and I think that was because we had to provide shark watch for
Those go on with it.
the local village carnival. Right, so
Yeah,
which was clearly under threat. I mean, it was right up there on Pyra's target list,
yeah,
that local carnival. But
yeah. It's just an
so
exercise to get you out, wasn't it? Really, it's just to
I
get you.
think it was some flight sergeant or the SWO or whoever
Yeah,
was in with the local councillors and said, "Oh, I can
I'll get you some men.
screw up people's social lives and bring them in."
Yeah,
But I mean, on the whole, I was really lucky. I just started seeing somebody, and I mean, she ended up as my wife, and yeah, I mean, we were sort of home most weekends, really.
so when you say Shark Watch, some people may not realise because we've got a version of Shark Watch, and I guess it's similar in a sense of we used to have that when we went out, and it was the providing
Same,
a sober element to the
yeah.
nights out to look out for terrorist attacks, wasn't it? So if a group of you were out on the piss, one of you would be on Shark Watch. You'd be the sober or the least drunk one, just keep an eye out for any issues, any problems. Same thing.
Yeah, basically, I mean, we used to do that. They called it Shark Watch for this particular thing as well,
Yeah,
and I get it. I mean, obviously, none of us were drinking, but we would have all stood out like a dog's knob. I mean,
yeah.
at the end of the day, we were all doing that thing of wearing puffer jackets, jeans, and desi boots, right? Because,
What's uniform out of uniform?
well, that's it. I mean,
Yeah.
Air Force trainee. What would you want to do? Yeah, I'll dress up as if I'm in 22 SAS.
I
So
thought you'd have worn a little dress or something like that when you're going out of the RAF, but obviously not.
only if you were deep undercover.
Okay, so yeah, I'm with you. I can't,
Mm.
my mistake. I just get confused easily.
There's a
So
lot of weird stuff going on in your head, Joe. Let
yeah,
me tell you.
you should try coming in there on no, wrong word. You should try.
I'm not going there, mate. It's I, I, I like to lead, not follow.
Do you ever get intrusive thoughts when you're sat there and
Mm,
just things just pop into your head and you think, don't
yeah,
act this out.
yeah. Intrusive thoughts all the time. I just am clever enough not to let them come out.
They just fly out. I got no control.
Well,
Well, I'm getting
nothing
better.
there to stop them, is there?
No, it's just free reign, just a free flow. There's no barrier, there's no filter. So trade training. So looking at 1991,
Mm,
Now the Berlin Wall had come down in '89.
Right.
This had an impact on my service when I joined in '88. Not we wouldn't have known that until '91, '92. Was this something you were sort of semi-aware of, that the changes in how things were going to be regarding the Cold War?
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of that stuff was still in place when I joined. We still had Hong Kong. We still, I was always interested in the news for some reason, which came in handy in later careers. But for some reason, I just seemed to understand what was going on around the world, and certainly, in Europe. And I'd always wanted to go to East Germany.
Yeah.
I never got there.
No.
So never got to go through Checkpoint Charlie when it was
Oh, really?
anything less than a tourist attraction.
Yeah. Yeah. So was Germany on the cards for you in the as an
It
art
would have been.
person? It would have been.
Yeah, I
Okay.
never got there.
Really?
So I mean, I did some tours but spent most of my time in the UK.
So
Yeah.
so for because I was based in Germany for the whole lot, and I would have loved to have a UK posting because I really enjoyed the UK nightlife.
Mhm.
German nightlife was crap, but some people really wanted to be in Germany, didn't they? Because it was just what it had to offer.
Well, loads of people stayed, didn't they, afterwards? And they married
Yeah,
German girls and
yeah,
vice versa, and hung around over there. I mean, I was just that's the thing where wherever the Brits went,
mm,
we seemed to integrate a little bit, and some people would marry themselves into local society.
yeah,
I noticed I'm just sort of doing a bit of research for a holiday to Malta, and after the 3 RAF bases there closed, loads
yeah,
of people stayed. So
yeah.
yeah.
Just get used to the life. I know we've got a lot of guys would have, if we'd gone over to Bathurst in Canada to do a live firing,
Hmm.
they might have met a young lady or of something you call half of them ladies, but someone in one of the clubs over there, and they just get married and they bring them back to Germany. So you bring these poor young Canadians from Canada to Germany, and then they'd end up settling in Germany because that's where they both love it.
But imagine, right, marrying somebody who's from Ascension. Well, I don't suppose people are from Ascension, are they? They're from St Helena, but they they met at Ascension, and the next thing they know, they're on some rotten RAF base with the world's worst houses that make the
Yeah,
worst council estates look great.
yeah.
And I mean, I don't know what RAF G was like, but I mean, army bases. I'm assuming the accommodation wasn't great.
I mean, it was better than the block when they were singly, but I know with yourself, you got. I don't know if it was phrased to say marching in, marching out, handover,
Yeah,
takeover,
same. Yeah.
same thing, isn't it? So, but we know that these houses were just very bog standard. Would be the best
Mm.
way to describe, and it is basically a council estate. You see them now, you think, Christ, that's still going from the
I had the
'50s, or
opportunity to buy mine
did you?
for
Cheap?
about 13K,
Oh,
right?
jeez.
And that was just as I was leaving the Air Force for my next job.
Yeah.
And stupidly, I turned it down. Yeah.
Madness, isn't it? When you think
Mm.
we know guys that have did that very same thing and they've got more than enough money. They I think some of them even start to buy the house while they're still serving
Yeah.
as just as an investment because these guys have been in 20 odd years. They've got more than enough money. It's almost a guaranteed mortgage, isn't it?
Well, that's it. And the thing is, you do that length of service, and where is home? It's like it's really
Yeah,
just the last place where you set up, isn't it?
yeah,
So,
yeah,
if the other half has got a job locally or whatever, then why not stay?
yeah. And that's actually a really good point about where is home because where is home? Do you know what I mean? When people get out, that's when we struggle, isn't it? Because we're not home anymore,
A
and we're
lot
not what
do.
we not what we define as home, which is really hard.
Mm,
We'll go into that. So let's
yeah.
talk about your service. So you got yourself through your trade training, everything's good. How was I know you didn't get to go to Germany. How was service in general for you?
On the whole, I loved it.
Really?
It was really good. Good fun. Whole bunch of really good people. Couple of down bits, but you get that with everything.
Yeah.
But on the whole, I loved it. I mean, my first base was RAF Oakhanger, which was in Hampshire, just outside of Borden, where the old Remy place was.
Yeah.
I think it was Remy, but I don't know.
Bordley, I think it was. Was that the Remy
Yeah,
training centre?
it may well have been.
I
I
think
mean,
so.
we
Yeah.
obviously had nothing to do with that lot whatsoever.
No, because they
Um,
drink a lot.
well, yeah, I mean, the closest you'd get to them was at the kebab van on a Saturday night,
Was
and
there any rivalry?
that was no, not that I'm
No,
aware
not
of.
at
I
all.
mean,
Oh, that's good.
the thing is, we never mixed with them, so we don't know whether
Yeah.
they were rivals or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, they would have looked down their noses at us, and we did exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
But you know, we had two sites there. We had the domestic site, which was in Borden itself, and then
Yeah.
we had the technical site, which was out in the countryside a bit, and it was a satcoms base. So, and
Yeah.
it still is now, but it's not run by the RAF anymore. But I loved it. It was great
So,
there.
with your experience on the garrison area in the RAF, I know
Mm.
serving over in Germany, the garrison area is just predominantly army.
Hmm.
You go into town, is pretty much all hands on. It's just bar fights and scraps, and it's just absolutely insane. I'm gonna hazard a guess it's just not like that with the RAF garrison.
I mean, certainly in Hampshire at Borden, it was pretty much all army. There was a few
Yeah.
hundred of us RAF.
Yeah.
I mean, me and my mate Mark, we used to hang around a lot together, and we go to the local snooker club. There was never any bother there,
Yeah.
or we jump in a car and head off out into the countryside, find a nice pub. You know,
Yeah, very different, isn't it? I think it's a very different mentality as well. It's a completely different way of being wired up, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, I don't know. There were so many different ways of life there. If you were in a married quarter,
Mm,
it would be different again.
yeah,
I was a singly in a block, single man room, and having a whale of a time. It was great.
yeah. What was the
Yeah.
accommodation like for the singlies back in the block? Was
Do you
it
know what? It
quite
was
good?
good. It was all
Was it
right.
decent?
Yeah, it was good. My room at Oakhanger was nice. I mean, it wasn't big, but
Yeah,
you know, you had a cot in there and room for a chair and
yeah.
the hot and cold flushing urinal. Um,
In your
yeah, well, you had a sink. Yeah,
in your room, you actually had a
yeah.
sink. You didn't get to share facilities with other men like we did. That's
No, why would I want to be with other men?
oh, I just thought that's what the RAF was all
That's your
about.
thing, mate.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm out now.
Oh, well, so I heard. Well, and congratulations on
I thank you so much. People think, is he? What? Is he? Really?
that.
No.
Yes,
Just
he
for the
is.
record. Just for the record, I'm not gay. I didn't join the RAF.
And nor am I, for the record. Even though,
Yeah,
you know, you slandered me earlier, but
I did.
yeah,
I did.
it's incorrect.
I think if I don't get these things in quickly, you're just far too quick-witted for me.
Which is what he said.
Yeah.
I'll just get this in quickly. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I thank you. So accommodation was good. So generally speaking, your career, usual highs and lows. I know that you've done operational tours, and I know
Hmm.
we don't need to go into any details about that.
Oh, you
Did
made
it?
it sound like I was special forces just there.
Well, you told me that you were.
No,
So,
no,
special needs. Sorry, which one
that's
was
the
it?
one. Yeah.
No, right, yeah,
No, the Balkans. I mean, do we
yeah.
have to? Yeah.
No,
We know
I think we know the Balkans was the Balkans. It was horrific.
it was
That's
an
it.
absolute shit fest. It was horrible,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean that stays with you. That one.
And is
Mm,
it because when you go to join the RAF, you
mm.
don't expect to go to the likes of the Balkans? Was that they're like, oh, what? Hang on a minute. Whoa, we didn't
Well,
sign up for
I
this,
I
or
didn't expect to go.
yeah,
You know, I mean, one of the good things about being in the RAF is that you know if you have a water fight,
yeah,
you send one of two groups of people. You either send the officers and you strap them to a rocket and you send them that way,
yeah,
and if they don't come back, you go to supply and get yourself a new squadron
officer,
leader or whatever, yeah,
yeah,
and a new rocket, right?
yeah.
Or you send the RAF Reg because let's
As
face
long as
it.
it's not more than 5 miles,
Yeah,
all right.
well, they get dropped off, don't they? So,
Oh, easy.
so the Bentley pulls up, they all jump
Yeah.
out, and but they are special forces, and we have to accept that,
Yes.
don't we?
Yes. We
Don't we?
well, you do.
Don't
You
we?
do. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
I actually know a couple of RAF Reg guys, so
I'm
I
sorry.
can't open. I know, I know, I can't openly say what I think about the level of training that they receive compared to other special forces.
I wouldn't
So
know. Yeah,
No.
I mean, I met a couple of nice ones. That was all right.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. We've all
I
got a
even
job.
even met a couple of nice snowdrops through my time, but
Yeah. But there we
I think
go.
that was a fluke more than anything.
So service, how long did you do in the end?
8 years, 8 years.
Right. So yeah, it's a good stretch though, isn't it?
It was enough. I couldn't wait to get out at the end. I
So why did
absolutely
you get out?
detested it.
Really? So tell me
Yeah.
what how that transpired. How
I
did it go
think
from you loving it
over
to not liking
time,
it?
so I wanted to, I'd always wanted to be a copper, right?
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
And I think that's because I was bullied at school, right?
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so needed to get my own back. So no, I
Absolutely.
always wanted to be a cop, always wanted to be in the Met.
Yeah.
So didn't get accepted the first time, got in the second time.
Was that
And
first time after you got out of the forces? So you
no, so
thought,
I was still in. I went
right.
through the recruitment process for the police while I was still in the RAF.
So you had
Um,
a move on plan, or you were
yeah, no,
planning
I
for it straight in.
wanted to get out. I was able to buy my way out of the RAF.
So what did you sign for 9?
9+6 in the reserve, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
So just as I got accepted,
Mm.
the RAF changed all the rules and said, "Oh yeah, no, if you want to buy yourself out, you can, but it's 18 months' notice."
How's that buying yourself out then? Have you got to give that? That's just signing off, isn't it?
Don't know, but it's why I still had to buy myself out.
Oh, Jesus.
D by P, I think they called it, discharge by purchase.
Okay, yeah. We used to call it
So
a PVR, was a premature voluntary release.
yeah, no, I think we had PVR as well. And do you know what?
Yeah.
I actually can't remember what I did now.
Mm.
It was one of the two. I think it might have been PVR actually.
Same sort of thing, isn't it? You
Yeah, I
do that
mean,
before the end of your term, wouldn't you? You
one
sign your
costs you
fixed term.
money, the other one doesn't.
Yeah,
But because they were civilianizing a lot of my trade,
yeah,
there was a real shortage of techos who were wearing blue. And
right.
so they were really not keen on letting us go. But the Met said, to quote,
Yeah.
"You're amazing. We will wait for you."
Oh, that's good.
Did they say amazing? Fantastic and amazing is what they said. The best we've ever seen.
I, I can understand
And
that.
I get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
at the time it was just water off a duck's back. I thought,
Yeah,
yeah,
you get used to hearing it so much, I think.
I know, right? So they actually waited 18 months, and then I
Yeah,
literally left the RAF on the
yeah,
Saturday
yeah.
and off to Hendon on the Sunday.
Really, that quick?
Yeah, yeah,
But
it was
that's good.
great.
I think
Yeah.
that's good because you've got no time to think.
Hmm.
That time to think, sometimes you can make bad. I made bad decisions. So that immediate transition, you wouldn't have, your transition out of the forces would have been fairly smooth because you're going one structure straight into another structure, aren't you?
It was odd because the police considered themselves to be very disciplined at the time.
I bet.
Compared
Yeah.
to being in the military, it was
Mm,
nothing.
no.
Bearing in mind, you were straight into single man rooms or single person rooms, whatever,
Yeah.
and there would be somebody come around and make your room up for you while you were off training.
Wow.
I
So
know.
did you find did the people that you were training with for the police training, did they find you a little bit too military when you first got there?
It's really interesting, right? So we were out on parade. They did a military type of parade. There were two
Yeah.
ex-guardsmen who were like the die staff for the Met Police.
Yeah.
I think they're both gone now,
Yeah.
but zero sense of humour.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, dear.
as was found out when somebody went on parade with the old plastic policeman's hat on, and that went south very quickly.
And what was
Uh,
their punishment? Did he get a proper bollocking?
I think I mean, I'm only saying what I was told, right?
Yeah.
But I believe the drill instructor got nicked
Oh, wow. So it was a
by a
proper
recruit.
wow.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't there. I
No,
don't know, but
no.
that's what I heard.
Never let the
Yeah.
truth get in the way of a good
Good
story, mate.
story.
That's
Yeah, I mean, I could see it happen though. I mean,
yeah,
they were. I'm sure in their own right, they were lovely fellas, right?
yeah,
At the end of the day, got respect for them because they've served, and that's all good.
yeah.
But we had a talk, and
Mm,
basically they had us all out on parade like day 2, something like that, and they
yeah,
said, right, all military people stay behind at the end. So we're all thinking, great, they got special jobs for us,
yeah.
yeah, because we're a cut above. Yeah, so at the end, I ended up chatting to some army guys and some Matlows and that other
Yeah,
lot who hold hands when they're marching. I don't know who they
yeah,
are. And we basically got a bollocking from the drill instructors saying,
really,
you need to get down off your high horses. You're in the
really,
Met now. So basically, we were told to lower
yeah,
standards,
because the others are looking bad around you.
basically,
Oh no,
right?
shit.
But the one good thing that did come out of it is that the instructors that we had doing the actual job
Yeah,
seemed to really like having the military there because we knew how to take orders
makes their
and
job
just
easy,
used a bit
doesn't
of
it?
bloody common sense, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So did you find to run a comparison of your military training for the RAF and then your police training, how would they compare as the overall package?
Oh, night and day. I mean, the
Really?
basic training for the police is more, well, it was then. I mean, it's very different now.
Mm.
Sorry, I've got a really itchy nose. It's hay fever.
It's horrible, isn't it? So I'm
Yes,
suffering the same, mate.
rubbish. So most of it was academic back then.
Yes, I
That
did
you,
think so. But a lot of do you learn much about you're up there to uphold the law in the sense you have to you have to learn a lot. You need to know your stuff, don't you?
yeah, you had an exam every Friday morning
Yeah,
on what you've learned for the week before.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean, it was really hard. The Trying to think now, the actual discipline side of it was a complete doddle as far as I was
yeah,
concerned. It was fine. Uh, the academic side was very difficult for me.
yeah. In
You know,
what sense? Because
well,
you're not daft, are you? So
because
what did you find hard?
you need to remember the laws by rote.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
So
you
you
need to
can't
be
deviate at all from anything.
no. So you have to learn the definition of theft. You have to learn the definition of robbery, burglary, all the other stuff
Yeah,
to know when it's illegal to be drunk in a pub,
yeah.
because it is illegal to be drunk in a pub, which is weird.
I know the definition of conspiracy because that read to me twice on my charges, so I know that one pretty good. There's a
Yeah,
lot about
is
it.
that before you went on holiday for a few
It might
years?
have
Was
been.
it?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was. Yeah,
I
just
understand.
prior.
Yeah. So yeah, conspiracy to,
Yeah,
uh, but yeah, joint enterprise, that sort of thing. So you
yeah.
had to learn all of that. What off weps were, all the gubbins.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What's your views on joint enterprise as a whole? Because I've been away with a lot of people who've been given some really, I know avoiding sort of any particular cases, but I've been away with some people who've been done joint enterprise. What's your views on it? Do you think that it's a fair charge for some, or do you think it needs to be sort of looked at in a
I
different
mean,
way?
I think every case should be tried on its merits. I mean,
Mm,
if you're drumming and burgling a house and you've got somebody standing outside keep an eye, that's
mm,
joint enterprise. I mean,
yeah,
I mean, they're burgling as much as the person who entered,
yeah,
but to burgle, you have to trespass, right? So
yeah,
the person outside isn't trespassing. So joint enterprise it is, or
yeah.
conspiracy. So
Yeah, because
yeah,
one wouldn't happen without the other, would it? If the burglary
yeah,
wouldn't be go ahead if that person wasn't keeping an eye out,
that's
and
it.
so on. Yeah. Okay. No, cool. It's just one of those things I
What were
see people
you?
doing.
Are you on bail at the moment then, or are you want a bit of advice? Is that what's
Yeah,
going
I'm
on?
just thinking of reoffending. I just want to make sure I get it right this time.
Yeah.
So yeah, just for the record, I am joking. I'm on I am on license, and I'm not thinking of reoffending at all ever again.
Are you still on license?
Yeah, another 18 months.
Okay, we'll be good then.
Yeah, not far. By the time this goes out, I should be off.
Yeah, I've never met a lot of criminals, but you're a nice one.
I'm a nice one. I did some bad things, mine, but I'm a lovely bloke.
Yeah,
I only broke the law once, mate. Just broke it for a long
I know,
time.
but if you're going to do it big, right?
Do it big and do it for a long time. Don't get caught.
Yeah,
Simple as that. So you had to learn all this, get tested every Friday,
they
and then
reckon it's like doing a degree in 18 weeks.
that's pretty intense, then, isn't it?
That was
And I
mad,
imagine as well as
absolutely
other
mad.
stuff you're doing as well.
Yeah. So I mean, so you're doing the PT side of things. They're teaching you how to do handcuffing, baton strikes, all of that. I was never a natural athlete, so all of that stuff was quite difficult for me.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So what did you enjoy most about your police training?
what did I enjoy the most?
Yeah, yeah. What did you find most that intrigued you more of anything else?
Yeah, intriguing. I think it was, well, they sent us off to learn how to do a pursuit. to do the commentary for a pursuit,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that was insane.
Were you
I mean,
in a vehicle at the time?
so what they did, they sent you over to a place called Farrow House, which was just over the back of Hendon Police College,
Yeah,
and they called it the comms building or whatever. They'd sit
yeah.
you down in front of a VHS of a vehicle
Oh, and
pursuit.
you've got to do a commentary of what you're seeing on the screen.
Utterly ridiculous.
Yeah,
But I enjoyed doing the practical stuff. So
yeah,
learning how to put hands in pockets, how to, start talking to people and stuff like that. I really enjoyed that. The learning of the law was
mm,
bloody hard.
yeah,
And um, cops get told they're stupid all the time, right?
yeah,
And it's generally because not because they don't know the law, but more often than not, it's because they're not allowed to use discretion often, and sometimes a bit of common sense is lacking. But
yeah.
I'm a big supporter of the police.
Yeah, 100%. Me too, mate. And I think a lot of the time people don't take into consideration that when a police officer is arresting someone, they're under high adrenaline. They're not always going to be able to. They need to take time, don't they, and allow
Mm,
things to defluster because they have to phrase things in a certain way because of how the law works. They can't say we got a bloke here, we have a person, or it has to be said in a certain way. Otherwise, I'm guessing there's some kind of loophole that something goes wrong somewhere.
yeah,
It's a lot to take in when someone's trying to get away from you or is at risk of, because until you search that person, you're still in danger, aren't you?
yeah,
And people don't even
totally.
stop to think about this. They don't consider the fact that, and what going to get your view. What's your thought on these auditors going around with video cameras outside police stations, just video to
I
get a rise out of them?
If I was in charge,
Anything.
there would be a specific offence of purposefully filming for the purpose of winding
Like,
people up.
yeah, it's wasting police time, isn't it? I think.
You could try that. I mean, I think the auditors get away with it. See, I'm all for right freedom of speech, and I'm all for
Mm,
being able to film in a public place, right?
yeah.
Um, the problem we've had with the auditors, and this is something that I tried to assist sorting out, and you didn't know this, is
Yeah.
I wrote a package when I was I was just coming back from sick,
Yeah.
and the auditor thing was really starting to kick off, and
Really.
I wrote a training package
Okay.
for cops and how to deal with auditors,
Yeah,
right?
because they're trying to push your buttons, aren't they? That's what they do. They want to
Yeah,
push your buttons to get you to react unprofessionally,
yeah.
and then oh, got you. It's a gotcha, isn't it? That's what they're
Yeah,
trying to do.
I mean the cops are paying out left, right, and centre to these snidey little assholes with
Yeah,
cameras who think they're clever, think they're fun, and of course what they're doing is hiding behind, saying, well, we've got the legal right. Yeah, absolutely, you've got the legal right. But
yeah,
as somebody said in America. That in many places you've got the legal right to walk around your front yard with a shotgun,
mm,
yeah, but it may be bloody stupid,
yeah. It doesn't mean
right?
that you should, does it?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not a fan of auditors. I think they
No.
are absolute prats. And the people who support them, along with the sovereign citizen movement and all of that
Mm,
old shit,
yeah,
yeah, it's possibly a significant indicator of something else, possibly.
yeah. I think, and I think my issue with it, and what I take exception is when these people are out there doing their thing. Even from a security point of view, you've got officers coming out the back of a police station who could be undercover. They could be some sort of
Hmm.
you know, in a certain department who don't want to be seen coming out of a police station. You could have anything, and they're filming these people filming their cars, and they're this that is a security breach in my eyes. It shouldn't be done.
Yeah, but the problem is it's not illegal. So
No.
so to give you an idea, I mean, let's say, I mean, certainly back in the days of the IRA,
Mm,
you would be uber careful about your security and who was hanging around outside a Nick and things like
yeah.
that. But we're potentially on the verge of a war. Okay, intelligence assets are in the UK.
Mm,
All right, we know they are. You got
yeah.
people who have been on trial recently for that, and if people are hanging around outside a Nick and filming stuff, hostile reconnaissance,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not a problem to challenge them.
Mm,
Okay, not a problem to challenge them at all. You go, hello there, what are you up to? Um, And of course, I go, "Oh, why do I have to tell you?" And it sounds like I'm putting an accent on there, but that's how they talk.
That's how they talk, yeah.
Right? Because
Do you
that's how
think
their minds work.
Do you think it should be okay to pepper spray them without asking any questions? Just go and put them
I
straight in
don't
the
think you
face.
should be hurting them.
That's not painful, is it? It's just uncomfortable for a while.
No. I mean, I know we're joking, but you know, there will be people who listen to this and go, "Oh, you pair of fascists," you know, and it's banter, it's a laugh. I don't like the whole idea of auditing, just like I don't like some cops doing stuff that they do. You know, we know generally what's right and wrong. We've all got a moral compass, and if that's, you know, if that's really out there, a bit of correction doesn't hurt. But yeah, there we go.
And I guess it depends on what they're trying to. It's what are they trying to achieve from this auditing, isn't it? Exactly, it's money on views on YouTube, isn't it? That's what.
And not only that is that you get better views if you end up getting nicked, right? Or if you end up getting detained for a search and the grounds aren't there, so you get a payout for that. And of course, what it does is it winds up the masses on YouTube who are going, "Oh, look at that fascist copper," and all of that, and they're not on our side and stuff like that. Do you know what? Actually, these people are just trying to get on with their day. There are people out there who need the police. You can't get a copper to come around your house for love nor money. And then you go and stand outside the nick and stick your camera in their face. Stop being a prat.
And you're keeping 3 or 4 of them busy while they could be doing something more productive with their time.
However, there's a lot to be said for training cops on dealing with that.
I think
go,
so.
"Hello, mate. What you up to?" "I'm filming." "Okay. Any particular reason?" "YouTube." "All right, then." You get a feel for these people. You know, if they're jerks, they're jerks, and you can just ignore them.
You just got to walk away, haven't you? And then you got to say your piece. Go out and identify stuff you need to. So right, okay, no problem. Just don't come onto the premises, please. You know, where your public area, that's fine. And I'd like to thank our sponsor, MVS Autos, based in Warmley, Bristol, who provide a family-friendly service for all your vehicle and transport needs.